guys, and welcome to Rufus and Doofus. Chico here, and today I just finished putting in my solar controller, and I decided to put it down here in one of the cargo bays, which is right next to the batteries. The solar controller is supposed to be as close to the batteries as possible. Also, it's not the kind of thing that you probably want to put inside your RV because it's really not a very attractive installation. Part, you know, it's kind of got wires coming out of it, actually a bunch of wires, and they're big thick cables. So I decided to put it down here. Let me show you how I did it. Alrighty, I hope you can see that well. This is the controller, and this is the commander that comes with the kit, and that is good for 400 watts of solar at 12 volts and 800 watts of solar at 24 volts. Now, I decided to mount it up against the wall here of the compartment. On the other side of this compartment, within a foot or so, are my batteries. So it was fairly simple. There was a kind of a bulge here, so I decided to take a couple of pieces of plywood, glue them together, and then carriage bolt hold it onto the wall with a little airspace behind it, which won't hurt anything because these things need good ventilation. I haven't got my solar panels hooked up yet, but if you look right here, these wires coming from the batteries are already connected, and the commander is actually monitoring the batteries right now. And these are the wires I was talking about. These are pretty good sized wires. They're large, you know, so I don't think you want that in your RV. So what I decided to do is put it down here, and then there's a comm connection here, which is going to allow for communication between the comm remote and the commander, and all the functions can be controlled from that. So I'm going to wire that up, just feed it right through the compartment and up the side of the door. I'll show you that in a minute. And when I get the cable, I'll plug it in, and we should be able to do everything from inside the RV. So pretty simple, a couple of screws in each corner here, nice solid mount. That isn't going anywhere. And as I said, the only reason I really put it down here is because I don't think it would have looked good inside, you know. And I did opt for the monitor that came with this particular kit, the premium kit. So if you get it, you might want to get that MT50 monitor or remote or whatever they call it. Okay? All right, so let me show you the inside and what I did with the batteries. Okay, I just want to show you the battery compartment here. We have two 6-volt batteries, deep cycle golf cart batteries, hooked in series for 12 volts. Now over there you'll see two positive wires. One of the wires is the old wire that was there, and that goes to the battery charge controller, which is new. It's a Progressive Dynamics. I put that in when I first got the RV. The other red wire is the wire that came with the solar panel kit, and it goes from the battery to this fuse block here. I hope you can see it. And that right now is a 20 amp fuse. I'll probably upgrade it to 40, which won't hurt because I've got a 40 amp controller. And you know, a draw of 20 amps can happen pretty quickly on a battery. So that's that. And then from there, the other side, we don't have any color on the wire, but it came with the solar kit. So that goes from the fuse block and in turn goes over to the controller, which I showed you earlier. Now the negative wire, one of them goes to the solar controller, the newer looking one, and the other one just goes to the frame of the RV as ground. So that's what we've accomplished so far. Okay, so we've got wires from the battery going to the solar controller. The solar controller is mounted in the spot where it's going to be for as long as I own it. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. Okay, and then what I've done here is I've removed a piece of trim that was up here, okay, that hid this whole part. And you can see that they really didn't cut the door that accurately. So I am going to run the cable from the solar controller up through here, all right, and a piece of molding goes over that, and you won't even be able to see the cable. And then up here, I've mounted the the part that goes around the meter. Let me show that to you in a minute here. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You can do it flush mount, but you can see the back here. You'd have to use a hole saw and cut a big hole. But what I decided to do was to actually put it in the mount that came with it for wall mounting, so that you don't have to cut. And the reason I did that is because there's an indentation up there in that little cabinet, and it would have just made the meter a little more difficult to get to. Whereas this way, it'll be right there, no problem getting to it. All right, guys, here's the MT50 completely installed, and looks pretty good where it is. I like it. And I've completely reinstalled this little trim piece here so you can't tell anything, and also put back this molding strip, which does a nice job of hiding the wire. So nice clean install. The solar controller is outside, as I had showed you. The cable is run up the side of the door, and the MT50 is in place, and it's working beautifully. It's overcast outside. We have 14.6 volts coming in at 2 amps. Our battery's up to 13.8 volts. So I'm pretty happy. Very happy. All right. That is the end of that. Well, guys, here's one way to get up and down the roof. I think so. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Well, boys and girls, if you're going to do some roof work, that's the way to do it, with a forklift at your disposal. Now, I got the panels on up there. It was too hot to bring the camera up there and stop working just to show you. But I will go over how the fasteners look and how they work, and then I'll show you the final product up there, okay? So, don't go away. Okay, guys, as part of the solar install, I had mentioned a special fastener that we're supposed to use. The fastener, if you look at the online instructions for the solar panels and the mounting, you will see that they suggest going to Home Depot for them, or another outfit that you have to mail order them through. I found from experience that Home Depot does not carry them. Okay, so you want to go to the other source and order them from them. They come in boxes of 10. They're not very expensive at all. I can't remember exactly what I paid for them, like $20, maybe something like that, maybe a little less. They worked out to about 80 cents a piece, I think. So I'm going to include the link below, but I just wanted to show you a close-up of this thing, all right? This is what it looks like, and it has a top that's kind of flat, all right? It's very flexible. It's made out of rubber, and inside there's a brass piece that's threaded, which only goes up about a third of the way into that little rubber thing. Okay, so what you do is you drill a 3/8 hole into the roof, and it's going to be that size, slightly longer maybe, okay? And then you put some Dicor sealant in there, and then you push this into the hole, and this will stop when it reaches the roof line, because the hole is not going to be big enough to let the whole thing in. All right, so then what I did is I took my panels with their mounts on them, and I put a little mark where each one of these were going to go, and I carefully drilled into the roof the distance needed. Okay, I put a little tape on the drill bit so I didn't go any further, and then put a die-core in the hole, shove this in there. When I got all of them in, and there's 8 per panel, okay, at that point I put a little dab of die-core on top of this, and then I laid my panel down and I put the machine screw in here and tightened them up. I gotta tell you, these things are gonna work really good. This is a for sure way of not getting a leak in your roof if you install them correctly, and it's also a for sure way that they're gonna hold very, very well, because they expand quite a bit under the roof. All right, under that first piece of I think it's like maybe an 1/8 inch of material that's there, and then obviously the foam and stuff. But these things work great, and I do suggest that you don't deviate from using these. I would use these, not any other kind of molly bolt or anything like that. All right, so I wanted to show you these. This was very important, probably the most important part of the whole install. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Hey guys, Chico here up on the roof, and I just got done putting the solar panels on here. Really wasn't that bad, except for, you know, I got my bad legs and stuff, so it hurts when I'm up here. But it was a hot day. I just want to show you what I've got done. Okay, the panels are on. These are the new panels from Renogy. They're a little smaller than their older panels, and they're supposedly a little bit more efficient. And you can see I die-cored the brackets down here. Okay, and I also put a little patch there that you can see that square piece of a Turnabond, only because it looked like there was a little issue on the roof. I don't think there was. There's no leaks inside, but better safe than sorry, being that I'm up here. And I use those special fasteners, which I'll show you in a little bit. But you can see I put the die-core all the way around here. And those panels are not going anywhere, I can tell you that for sure. So that's it, folks. The solar panels are on, and let's go see what's going on inside. It's kind of evening right now, so we're not getting much as far as solar, but hey, anything is better than nothing, right? All right, guys, see you in a little bit. Don't go away. All right, guys, the install is complete, and we have solar power coming into the rig. So our efforts have paid off. As you can see here, we've got 14.5 volts coming in right now, 0 amps. There's virtually no sun outside. 13.6 volts is our state of charge on the battery. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, guys, that's it. The install is done. I'm a happy camper. So I do a happy dance, but I'm a little too tired right now. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a very happy day. Bye-bye now.